posts on Facebook.
Right. And so live on what they call the YouTube, Mike, is where we are. And for those of you joining here in the YouTube land, what you're looking at is the open mic comedy show, and it stars what I think people all around the world are saying.
Yeah. Smooth jazz sound.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you wouldn't mind, please, a nice round of applause for the host with the most. His name is Mike Langworthy.
Thank you so very much, Chuck, because I know how sincerely you mean that. It's Monday night. It's 8:00 Mountain Time. The only real, it's Greenwich Mountain Time is what we call it here, because it's really the center of the United States' universe. It's the place where COVID was written by Ovid. That's how long we've been infected here, since the Roman Empire. It's all right. I don't mind being old, so go ahead. Talk about my... Hey, is your face melting? No, it's not. I'm just old, all right? Feel free to tell me constantly, because I don't own a mirror. Yeah, I woke up and my 3-year-old children were graduating from college when I got up in the morning. I'm Rip Van Langworthy. I know I'm old, okay? Let's stop it. And no, I don't know if King Tut was a big laugher. I never worked the Alexandria Yuck Yucks. There was a lot of politics going on then, and they said that if you worked the Hittites, you couldn't work the Egyptians. I don't know why, but the comedy worked in those days. I did a lot of work with the Phoenicians. I actually invented the Phoenician blinds. I thought I was going to get rid of it. Turns out I was 12 centuries too early, but nobody cares. Nobody cares about these things, Chuck.
I care, Mike. I care.
Oh, you know what? Don't pay. Okay, forget it. Welcome everybody to my Places I'm No Longer Attractive tour. I'll be your host and death mask for the rest of the evening. But I don't know. I just don't care. There's too many annoying things. I've been a comedian or a comedy writer for a very long time, and made a pretty good living at it. I'm not saying that just to brag. I am saying it to brag, and I do want those of you who didn't do that to feel bad about it. But that's not the only reason I did it. And what I don't like is, for some reason, people don't seem to be able to grasp that being a comedian is a thing that you can do. You know what I mean? Like, whenever I say to somebody I'm a comedian, I get incredible questions like, hey, you're a comedian. Have you done anything? That's a joke. I'm a comedian. Right. What do you think? No, actually, I worked at Lockheed for 50 years, putting bolts on B-17s. That's what I did. I'm a comedian. And I get this other question all the time. Oh, you're a comedian. Have I seen you in anything? How do I know if you've seen me in anything?
Nice one. Nice one.
I live in your house? No, I don't. I don't live in your house. Sure, I park across the street since we broke up, but that doesn't mean I live there. By the way, you got a tail light out. Okay, never mind. It doesn't matter. Not that I was never a stalker. I was never a stalker. The girl didn't want to go out with me, Fuck her. Exactly the way my priest used to feel about all of us. I don't even want to get into it. I also hate religion. I hate people who say I'm very spiritual, Yeah, you're very spiritual. Okay, I'll tell you what, walk through a wall for me. You know what I'm saying? If you're actually spiritual, make it work for you. Otherwise, just shut the fuck up. That's all I mean. That's all I'm saying. Very spiritual. I don't really, okay, fine. God, Jesus Christ. And I hate the guys who like are all constantly like proselytizing you, like with the signs. You go to public places, and it's, like the Republicans who are outside of abortion clinics with their sign, life begins at conception and ends at birth.
Oh, that's terrible. Oh.
Don't get an abortion. Let us ruin your life for you, because we're not going to take the kid. We're not going to take the kid and raise it. We just don't want you to have any control over your own body. So. Why? Because I weigh 250 pounds and I'm barren. All right. So anyway, sorry, I got a little hot with you. That's a problem that I have. I'm from Detroit originally. I'm a white guy from Detroit. I picked up my nickname there, honky motherfucker. It's a thing. It's just a thing, is what I'm saying, Chuck.
Yes, Mike.
No, I don't want you to answer me, Chuck. I'm just using the comic foil. All right, so this is going to be a fun show because I'm allowed to shut up. Well, that means the only reason that it's going to be fun, because some of the people that I know on this show, I already know are super funny. I got a lot of people here that have worked on the open mic before. I want to get it going and keep it rolling. This is how the show works. So a bunch of people have come in since the last time I announced it, so I'm going to say it again. I have a timer that beeps after 4 minutes, and you should hear it, pay attention to it, wrap up in a minute. I don't want to have to come in and say, hey, time's up. All right? I don't want to have to do that. I will do it, but I don't have to. I don't want to. And we got a lot of performers, so I'm going to just sort of crank people through. If something amuses me while you're on camera, I might say something. I might converse with you. You can keep going if you want. You can interact with me if you want. But it's my show, and if I want to interrupt you.
Not during my set, Mike.
Oh, Ned's here. Speaking of funny guys, he knows something.
Oh, no.
Oh, snap. Yeah, you do. You know some funny people. Come on. Anyway, this is going to be how the show works tonight. Everybody has a 5-minute set. Hope you enjoy yourselves. We're very grateful that you're here. Anyone who's here just to watch, extremely grateful that you're here. I'm going to start the show with a guy who's been here a bunch of times. And as I told him before, he's one of the few people brave enough to call himself something the second. Usually you have to be, the titular head of a country to do that, but he's not. He's just a regular guy. And his name is, well, he's not just a regular guy. He's a great guy. Handsomer than I am, and don't think I don't resent it. Jeffrey Burden II, ladies and gentlemen.
Hello.
All right.
Thank you. Hi, everybody.
Right.
Hi. Hello. Thank you, Mike. I appreciate that. I have all of these ideas coming in my head, and I have diagnosed myself with adult ADHD. Seriously. And it's really hard. It's very hard for my wife. Yes. Incredibly hard. We're approaching that season, everybody. We're there, right? It's the holiday season, right? And my wife, she loves to buy gifts. Me, not so much. See, I struggle. I have 2 college degrees and loans. I struggle to buy food, everybody. Really. It's a big struggle, but I planted a garden, right? And, so now I can gift my wife a vegetable. I'm so excited, everybody. I'm contributing. Merry Christmas, honey. Enjoy the cauliflower. I love it. I'm very scientific with it. I trap carbon. I help. I go with photosynthesis, everybody. I trap carbon. I help create oxygen. And normally people walk away when I tell them I do that. So they don't care. Yeah. Yes. As does my wife. So there's that. And everybody, I try to be exceptionally thankful. I really do. Not just the holiday on Thursday, every day. I try to be better at every day being thankful for something, a couple of things if I can. I look at my mother, God love her. She's 74 next year. She's going to be 74 years old. And she has stage 4 kidney failure and dementia. Well, it's probably all the drugs she's taking, quite honestly. She's on a lot of drugs. Dozens and dozens of drugs, people. Blood pressure medication, water pills, pain pills, itchy pills. Those are all pills to relax the body. So I might be mistaking it for dementia. But, she refers to me as her brother. And it's
creepy.
And she'll also she gives it up. She gives everything up to God. She gives everything up to God. And I was the one to take her to the doctor's appointments. I'm the one to go get her drugs and her food. And what do I say to that when she says to me, if it weren't for God, I wouldn't be here? What do I say? Do I say, yeah, sis, I guess you're right. Never mind what Jeffrey's done. Never mind, it's irrelevant. But I have to meditate, everybody. I'm a very nice guy, but I can be an asshole, right? And I ask myself, where's all this coming from? And I've got a wonderful story, a very loving story about my parents and how they were assholes. Okay, how they were assholes. Just sometimes, not all the time, but like when I was trying to avoid my mother's shit rules, she would put me in this hold, right? Like I'm like 6 years old, and she's trying to force hot sauce into my mouth.
Particular reason?
There's more.
I put that shit on everything now, so it's in her face. It's in her face. And then my dad, one time, I remember my dad. I'm crossing this line that he establishes for me. I'm like 3 years old in a yard. I cross this line. I'm all outside by myself. My dad comes over to me and swats me, right? And later on, there's this family friend. I'm at my grandma's house. There's this family friend that grabs me, takes me in a room, and he tries to force me to give him oral sex. And my dad comes into the room and smacks the hell out of him, right? And I learned that day very quickly, everybody, not to cross the street as a little boy. And never get caught giving oral sex to another man by my father, because I would be beaten so badly, everybody. You don't want this to happen. Anyways, that's my time, ladies and gentlemen. You have been lovely. Thank you. Have a wonderful holiday.
Burden, ladies and gentlemen. You don't just laugh at the open mic. You learn. Cross the street. Don't give head to a strange man. I think that's why the Catholics have worked it out so nicely. It's always somebody that you know. Oh yeah, I said it. I'll say it again. But not with my mouth. What? Shut up, Mike. Come on. Our next performer is Paula Mattocks. She's in here often, and I like her a lot. And I hope you do too. Please give her a round of applause. Paula Mattocks.
Yay. Hello. Hey, let's give Mike some clap that he can tell his mom about. Let's give him the clap, you guys. All right. thank you for the mic and the time. It's nice to have a safe place to fuck around. You know, it's nice. Yeah. Pandemic times, man. Stupid shit will get you killed fast. You know, so we all gotta be careful, very careful. So before I get started, I need to thank my internet sponsor. You see, my neighbor is a sponsor of my internet tonight. I need to thank him for not knowing that yet. You know what I mean? Like, oh, fuck. Screw my shit up. No, it's been different the last few months. Pandemic times are stressful times, but you know, being tough is in my DNA. You see, I know you can't tell by looking at me, but I'm Native American. I can hide in plain sight. I'm an incognito engine. Yeah. Super fucking handy nowadays with the world being so fucking crazy. Like, thank you, not Jesus. I can't pray to Jesus, the Creator. Thank you, Creator. It's been fun. It's been fun. What I didn't realize being Native this long is that that means my white daddy had fucking game back in the day, you guys. You know, because no offense to my people, they look scary. You know, even when they're happy, mom looks scary. You know, it's like, my mom's not full-blooded Native, but she looks like she is, so that's terrifying. It is. It is. Yeah. But my dad, though, he's hung in there a really long time. We accidentally found out that he has some Native blood in him, but it came from the Trail of Tears, so we don't like to talk about it, you know? Yeah. Yeah. My mom says, we're only going to talk about the natives that made it. I'm like, whoa! People wonder what a Native mom's like, and I'm like, put all the ethnic moms together and then piss it off. That's what they're like. It's crazy. Like, she was so difficult that and scary that when I got hit by a car twice in my childhood, I didn't tell her. I would have got spanked, man, for being in the wrong place at the wrong time and didn't pay attention, you know? I wasn't ever going to tell her, actually, but she liked my comedy, and I sent her this bit. So I got spanked a few weeks ago because she found out. Says, you need to thank my arthritis that it wasn't harder and longer. There are cool things about being Native. We're really good at assimilating, so that's nice. Really nice. I can go from my Native side. I can go from my Native side to my white side just like that. It's really cool. Mm-hmm. We have really cool things too. We've got great jewelry. I mean, on par with nothing. It's awesome. Sometimes got a little medicine behind it. That's always a nice perk, you know? Y'all be fucking with the sage, man. Can you be easy with the sage? Like, that shit's fucking powerful. But then 2020 happened, and I'm like, everybody get your sage, go outside with your dream catchers, pray to the Creator. Great stories, you know. Go kind of stories, you know. A long time ago, I had a white mother-in-law because I believe that there was the patriarchy, and I married a white man, just like my mom, you know. But this lady came from Scotland, so she was, and I thought she would have fancy. No. My first was probably worse than the first Thanksgiving, you know.
Oh no.
The day before Thanksgiving, called up and she started to say about how she hated going to because they were loud, they were restless, you know, they ate. See, she thought I was the other daughter-in-law. Oops. Yeah. And I said, you know, Mary, if you didn't want to come, that's fine. I said, I only inviting you because it's a little reason for the sin to invite the white folk to your table. It's manners, right? Manners. I'll give the bitch credit though. She came the next day. She showed up, tried to give me blood money. I didn't accept blood money because I'm strong. I'm Native. And thanks for the time, you guys. Nice.
Yeah.
Hey.
Paula, it happened again. The internet, but you got
Your neighbor needs to upgrade his internet.
wants me to upgrade the payment.
Master, please.
I know what they said. I was thinking maybe your neighbor.
Oh,
Well, anyway, Olivas,
oh.
thank you for coming. Funny, a little frightening because I think someday the natives are going to get it all back. They're going to get it.
That's why we're still here. Hey.
Yeah, it's sure. It should be. It's. I hate to introduce the next guy because he's Indian, but he's really Indian. We have Native Americans and we have the actual people.
Oh, oh my gosh.
Well, I discovered
We
you.
got the people he found. That's the kind of show we run here.
That's awesome, man.
Please welcome, if you will, or even if you won't, Sukumar Vijayaraghavan, ladies and gentlemen.
All right.
Thanks,
Sukumar.
So when I started doing stand-up, there were many who were ready with advice. So the most common thing I heard was, in stand-up, you can talk about anything. You can do all the dick jokes you want. People don't mind. You can talk about sex with your pet aardvark, but nobody cares.
Yep.
But you should avoid two topics, and that is religion and politics. So I listened to them. No, I didn't ignore them. But then, these were the same people who before a gig at the Y told me I needed to make my material kid-friendly, and then got really pissed off when I did 10 minutes of pedophile jokes. I mean, it literally means kid-friendly. So,
Oh, man.
so
Awesome.
as you guys know, or some of you know, that I voted for Donald Trump. And I know what you guys are saying. He lost, but you're wrong. This was a stolen election. It's a proven fact that on the day of the election, George Soros, Hugo Chavez, and Abraham Lincoln got together in Barcelona and changed all the Trump votes to Biden. I know for a fact that every vote cast in Colorado was sent to Spain, where it was altered. And they did it on behalf of Iran, who last year sent an Indonesian man to the European Union meeting of the International Union of Pedophiles, who met in a pizza parlor in Hamburg, which was funded by the Illuminati. These people are the facts. If this was a fair election, Kanye would have beaten Biden. So I think Donald Trump has been persecuted for the last 4 years, so much like Jesus Christ was, and I've come to realize how much Trump is like Jesus, like Jesus died for our sins. And, if you remember 2 weeks back, Trump took one for the team. They're always on his case for not wearing a mask. But, I ask you this, Jesus consorted with lepers, and is there any picture of Jesus that you can point to that has him wearing a mask? Okay. I know what you guys are saying. There was no photography at this time, but that again is fake news. Photography has been with us since life began 6,000 years ago. So how else could we have pictures of dinosaurs? So they said that Trump was reckless in holding a large meeting in the Rose Garden about 3 weeks back. But remember, Jesus held a super spreader event known as the Sermon on the Mount. Both wanted to do the same thing. They wanted to spread herd mentality.
But what?
So like,
Wait, try that punchline again. Somebody.
They wanted to spread what?
herd mentality.
Heard.
Instead of herd immunity.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, let me put it in context. Trump said last month, instead of saying he wanted to promote herd immunity, He said he wanted to promote herd mentality.
Nice.
I heard you.
Nice.
I heard you.
Oh, I heard you.
So, and you know that
Extra laugh.
Jesus regenerated in 3 days, and Trump, got up the next morning with Regeneron, and they say that Trump never pays up for what he owes. But where in the Bible do you see the bill for the Last Supper? It couldn't have been cheap. A party of 13.
Nice.
Okay, I'll stop there. Thank you.
Sukumar, he's our resident revanchist comedian.
What does he know about medicine, really?
Well, what do any of them know? You know what I mean?
He's a professor at a medical school. Is what
Why would he know anything about science?
Why would he know?
Why would he know is what I'm saying.
That's the question.
Yeah. You know what the question is, Ned?
Tell me.
All right, our next performer. And by the way, we have a lot of comedians tonight. So I'm like I said at the beginning of the show, I'm really going to try to keep it rolling as much as I possibly can. And everybody's been sticking to their time. You're great. You're the most wonderful people that ever lived. Maybe not. Not as long as I'm alive. No, wait, what? Our next performer is Christine Olivas. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for Christine Olivas.
All right.
Yay.
Yeah, my favorite part in performing, I'm originally from Arizona and California. I live in Philly now. My favorite part is that people on the West Coast always know how to pronounce my last name. So thank you. It doesn't happen in Philly, trust me. All right, so I'll get right into it. I have been divorced twice. Which yeah, which means that I've said I can't do this as many times as I've said I do. So here's the best part. So my first husband was gay, and my second husband was narcoleptic. So they both fucked me in the dark with their eyes closed. One wished he was asleep and the other wished he were awake. Like, it's pretty simple. Well, let's see. When I was living in New York City before I moved to Philly, hope the folks with vaginas appreciate this. When I was living in New York City, I accidentally left a tampon in for a month.
Oh, shit.
I ended up in the ER and I almost died. It's very serious, actually. But I don't know what's more upsetting, that I was such a fucking workaholic at the time that I didn't notice, or that my boyfriend at the time's dick was so small that I didn't notice. Plenty of room for two little white nubs up there. I'm just saying.
Ouch.
So yeah, I'm a minister's daughter. I feel like I've landed in the right place. I do so far. The sacrilegious humor so far has been chef's kiss. Whenever people hear that, though, they always have the same reaction. They're like, Christine, you must have had lots of anal sex instead of real sex, so you could just
Oh my
pretend
gosh.
you're a virgin. First of all, that's very offensive to gay men. Second of all, it's not true. I did not have lots of anal sex to pretend I was a virgin. I just sucked a lot of dicks to pretend I was a virgin.
Also offensive to gay men.
Also offensive to gay men, yeah. But yeah, growing up, I mean, it was pretty outrageous. Growing up, I was told, I don't know how many ex-fundamentalist Christians we have here, but I was told that sex, this is the definition of sex that I was given. Sex is when a man and a woman come together under the watchful eye of God. Is that not the kinkiest shit you've ever heard?
Oh my gosh. Nice, man.
Jeffrey is nodding. He knows what I'm talking about. Yeah. And I'm like, let's break this down for a second. Well, first of all, when a man and a woman, well, that explains why I just licked a lot of pussies and thought God's lesbian loophole, right? And also, when a man and a woman come together, why are you trying to set me up for unrealistic expectations? That pretty much never happens. And we could talk forever and ever about God watching whatever. I don't even want to get into that today. He's a pervert. We already know that. Let's move on. So to recap, 2 divorces, homeschooled, minister's daughter. Let's talk more about homeschooling. I was homeschooled also until I was 14 years old. I'm like, homeschooling is a hot topic now. Everyone's doing it, right?
Yeah.
It's different now. Like kids these days people are complaining about it, but they have sophisticated technology. They have Zoom, they have virtual classes and tablets. When I was homeschooled from 1982 to 1996, I had the Bible, pen and paper, and the back of my mom's electric toothbrush.
The back? I don't get it.
Back of my mom's vibrating electric toothbrush. Is that how?
Sex education. Come on, people, get with it.
Don't worry though. My mom is always, honestly, this is true, has always had horrible oral hygiene. She had lots of plaque. She didn't notice when I put it back.
That's
Spitting a lot of bugs.
That is appalling. And I say that as a compliment.
I was bored. Anyway, I know there are a lot of people here. I'll leave you with that. This has been fun. Thanks.
Thanks, Christine Olivas, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, she's
Hey,
funny.
look, Christine, if you had to offend a few gay guys along the way, I'm okay with that.
Same.
That's why we're here, really.
That's why we're here, yes. I don't mean now. I mean back when you were a young woman. It's first experiencing the blossom of trying to figure out how to please a guy. No offense. Which, by the way, all you have to do is show up.
Yeah.
Okay, so anyway, our next performer. Who is our next performer? What did I say in the chat?
Glenn.
Glenn.
Yep.
C. Glenn. No, not Glenn. C. Glenn. C. Glenn
Oh,
Williams.
whoops.
Yeah,
Sorry.
that's the name of my first name book. C. Glenn Williams. He lives by himself at the end of the block. Don't go to the house. All right. Anyway, welcome, C. Glenn Williams, ladies and gentlemen. Woo! Straight from the.
All right. Thank you. I'm so happy to be here, and thanks, Mike, for the time tonight. I have spent the last 10 years of my life banging around from job to job. I think in the last 10 years, I have had as many jobs as I have had years. I changed my job every 8 months, except I spent a year and a half building furniture. And I thought that was going really well, but it turns out that people like furniture that's comfortable. That is not too high concept. Doesn't make them think of the economy. It's my bad. I went a little bit overboard. I know putting a fifth leg right on top of the seat is very uncomfortable, but it sends an important message about capitalism. My parents are very concerned. Of course, they're very supportive, but they're very concerned. I get a lot of calls about, like, how are you going to pay your bills? How are you going to ever retire? And I'm just like, look, I don't know what to tell you. You paid for the theater degree. I am what they refer to as an elder millennial. And most of my friends right now are at the age where they have kids who are starting to go off to school on their own and everything. And of course, that makes a lot of them very concerned about things like, what is my kid seeing on TV? How graphic are the lyrics getting in popular music? And I'm just like, I don't have kids, so I can listen to whatever the hell I want. But I look at pop lyrics these days and I'm just like, we finally have truth in advertising. Because I grew up listening to my parents' music, which was Tom Jones singing "It's Not Unusual" and watched New Pussycat, and you listen to all of those, you have no clue what an evening with Tom Jones is actually going to be like. With those lyrics, it could be anything from let's sit on the sofa and hold each other's hands to welcome to Master Jones's pleasure dungeon. Please wipe down the equipment when you are done. But I have watched Megan Thee Stallion videos. I know what an evening with Megan Thee Stallion is going to be like. There will be macaroni involved, apparently. I love pop music, though. I genuinely think like pop music right now, even though I'm the age where everything is supposed to suck, I think we're really like at the pinnacle of the art form. And part of why I think that is because I've never seen anyone as dedicated and talented and just respectful of the pop form than Ariana Grande. She has just about perfected her impression of a human being. I genuinely love Ariana Grande. I'm not meaning to suggest that she's a lizard person from under a volcano or anything like that. I love her. I would never say that. What I'm saying is, if you unhooked her bra the wrong way, we would be looking at a crankcase and an oil pan.
Wow.
I can't get out of my head the idea that Ariana Grande is what happened when Taylor Swift tried to build a little sister. But then like Nicki Minaj got her hands on her and was like, oh, this girl needs more booty. And then, you know, Beyonce showed up and was like, I'll do her hair. And then Dolly Parton descended from the heavens with a magic wand and was just like, you shall be a real girl. Ding! My mom called me the other day to ask about cosplay because she heard it was something millennials are into. And I was like, it's really easy. You just make costumes of video game characters. And she says, and people make a living? And I said, yeah, they sell photos. And she said, isn't that like a sex thing? And I said, look, you can just tell me you found my OnlyFans profile. Anyway, that is my time. Thank you guys very much. I really appreciate it.
Get the camera on C. Glenn, and I want you to back up and show us your shirt before I go on to the next match.
All right.
Look what that's a picture of. Get it, everybody?
Look at that.
The Beatles. The picture of the Beatles.
Yes.
It is so awesome and great. And congratulations from finding a bookstore that will let you work in their basement.
Yes, thank you. Thank you.
Anyway, next performer is, boy, a longtime friend of mine, and he's going to do comedy till he gets it right.
What?
We expect that. Definitely. Please welcome Ned Rice.
Hey, thank you, folks. Look, you know, at the top of the show, I know a lot of you hit mute when Mike's talking, but Mike was saying that he hates it when people say they're spiritual, but they're not religious. I live in Ann Arbor. I hear that a lot. I'm spiritual, but I'm not religious. I'm just the opposite. I'm very religious, but I'm not spiritual at all. I love the vestments and the trappings and the candles and the chanting and all, but I don't actually believe in God. I mean, come on. So that's how I feel about that. President Trump is not conceding the election, but he has given permission for the transition to begin. His first act as president-elect on Thursday, Joe Biden will pardon a turkey. So we're underway. The Democratic transition is continuing. Not funny, but informational. Just take a note of that. I'm enjoying the lockdown. I'm a big film buff. I love movies. And my favorite kind of movie is documentaries. I watch them all the time. Probably 90% of the movies I watch are documentaries. I watched a fascinating one today. And they're free, by the way. You can get them on YouTube. You can get them online for free. This was a kind of a slice of life documentary about this woman who lived, I guess, alone in Southern California. She was living in this apartment and she was really hungry. So she called a pizza place and had a pizza delivered. And the guy showed up And she looked in her purse and she went, "Oh my goodness, I have no money. How am I going to pay for the pizza?" And the guy said, "Well, there actually is a way you could pay for the pizza without money." And he took his clothes off and they started having sex. This is real, by the way. This is a documentary. This is not one of those scripted movies. And they were just going at it like unbelievable. I don't know. I guess it was an extra large pizza. It was just fascinating. I watched it 3 times. And then I watched the next documentary was about medicine. I love anything about medicine. This guy was in the hospital and the nurse came in to check on him and she took his vitals and then she said, "Would you like a sponge bath?" And he goes, "Yeah, okay." So he took his clothes off and she started giving him a sponge bath and you could tell he was really enjoying it. And the next thing you know, get this, the nurse took her top off and started performing a sexual act on the guy for real. It wasn't like implied. You could actually see it. And I couldn't take my eyes off it. It was amazing. And then this other nurse came in and she said, "Oh my goodness, what's going on here?" The next thing you know, all 3 of them are going at it. And it was just incredible. Like, again, it was just so graphic and it was real. And well, I won't give away the ending, but believe me, it was a big finish. So these documentaries I can't get enough of them. I think you're probably in the same boat. I'm dating a millennial because I'm kind of a creep, and she's a lovely girl, but there's a considerable age difference. As I say, she's a millennial. I'm very old. I'm so old that I just got over COVID-1. That's how old I am. I'm so old, Mike Langworthy calls me sir. So that's how old I am. But she's a lovely woman. I get a lot of emotional support from my girlfriend. A lot of spiritual connection is wonderful. I get a lot of intellectual stimulation from her. But mostly what I get from her really is tech support, to be honest with you, because I don't know how computers work. I have anything digital is evil. It's been put on earth to vex me. So I'll call her up and I'll say, "Honey, how do I upload the app to the cloud thingy so I can print the stuff?" And she's like, "Honey, no. Just go to settings." As soon as somebody says go to settings, I know I'm fucked. I know it's all that's the death toll for me. But I don't want to, our relationship is such that even with the age difference, we learn a lot from each other. It's very mutual, believe me. Like last week, my girlfriend taught me how to create a website with a secure database. Whatever the fuck that is. And I taught her how to make lye soap with wood ashes and bear grease. So it's a mutual, it's a give and take. So that's my time. And thanks for listening. I'm all done.
Awesome.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Hey, with your girlfriend, have you tried turning her off and then turning her on?
Mike, I take that personally. As a straight man,
fine. You know what? Take it personally. I gave you that soap recipe.
Yeah.
Confidence, and now you're giving it to everybody.
So you're old too. Okay.
That is what I'm saying.
I get it.
Thanks, Chuck. Punch it down.
Thank you.
Punch it down for me, Ned. That's what I want to do.
That's my job.
Pardon me?
That's what I do.
Yeah, you do. And you know what? He's a great guy. One more time for Ned Rice, who lets me
Hey.
lets me be an asshole. And so I do it.
Kind of quiet.
He doesn't really let me. He can't stop me because I'm hundreds of miles away. He lives in Ann Arbor, where there used to be a football program.
Oh shit!
Oh
yeah, bring that up.
Oh yeah, but you know what? Our next performer is ready to come. I've loved her since the first time I saw her, and in a creepy way. So again, it works out. Hundreds of miles away. Please welcome, if you will, Laura Hugg. Laura Hugg, ladies and gentlemen.
I've dated younger guys before. I mean, I haven't, had sex in a race car bed, but 20 years not over yet. Actually, this guy was young, and that's the thing about the age difference is the energy difference. He liked to role play. And so one time he's like, "I want to role play with you." And I was like, "Well, I'm your ride home." So, okay. But so I said, "What do you want to do?" And he said, "I want you to play bad mommy." And I'm like, all right. So in the middle of the night when he was asleep, I left him all alone and went out with my friends. So, you know, sometimes with younger men, facial hair can be an issue, but I keep it trimmed. So, you know. Everyone else has been talking about their religious or lack of religious status. And, you know, I get my belief in God like the rest of my family from 12-step programs. You know? We don't pray before we eat, but we do pray when we think we'll get our driver's licenses back. So, I don't know exactly what I think God is, but here's what I hope God is not. I don't like the concept of God as the Father. And it's not because I have a problem with God being male. I just didn't want to go into the afterlife being raised by another single parent.
Nice.
Wasn't that fun? And I had hoped heaven would hold more for me than me cooking myself a lot of toast. So, I just recently got my another COVID test. I'm negative. I'm very grateful that I don't have COVID-19. I do have a disease though. I have alcoholism. So it's, I mean, it's classified as a disease, and I actually got invited to perform at an accessibilities cabaret. And so I got a stipend and everything. I was super grateful. One of the things that, you know, there were a couple of things that, you know, separated my accessibilities issue from other people's, like being an alcoholic. I don't get a ramp. I'm not saying I deserve one, but I sure could have used one sometimes, you know. I gotta tell you, when I was drinking, stairs were no picnic, you know. I mean, and I know several of my fellow alcoholics who, you know, at least 3 people who fell down the steps and broke their necks and died that way when they were drunk, and I only. 2 of them. But, I mean, actually, to be honest, when I was drinking, a straight, well-paved, flat sidewalk was not easy for me either. But and then also, you know, as an alcoholic, I don't get my own restroom stall. And you know, again, I'm not saying I deserve one, but maybe if you gave me one, I wouldn't have had to take one by force. At everyone's party I went to when I was drinking. So, I mean, if I RSVP'd to your party, I usually RSVP'd on your couch. And then, you know, I'd have to go after a couple of cocktails. I'd go in your restroom and, you know, fall on the floor, and you know, half of my dead weight would be pressed up against the door, and the other half of me would be wrapped like a python around your toilet. You know, laying on the nice cool tile and the soft pillow of fallen pubic hair of whoever.
Oh, gross.
So, you know, maybe you should have given me I was gonna say, if I'm drinking and I RSVP to your party, then you should have a toolbox handy, unless you want. Which I also did right in front of your house. I'm thinking about relationships at the holidays, you know, it's different for everyone. And I'm thinking about a meaningful relationship I have, which is with the people you may know feature on Facebook. And if you notice that, but it's like I've had the same faces, you know, running like a ticker tape through my Facebook for years. And there are people that I may know that I don't know. I see them, I'm like, no, I don't know them. And then there are people that that Facebook says you may know, and I look at them and I think, yeah, no. And then there are the people that Facebook says, people you may know, and I think, fuck no. You know, way. You know, the thing about that is that they see my face and they're thinking the same thing, which is, you know, I'm in a 12, you know, I've been to a lot of 12-step programs in therapy. I spend my whole day looking inward, but if you haven't, then Zuckerberg for holding up a mirror, you know, like, I know why they're assholes. Do you know why you're the asshole? So I definitely do. Happy Thanksgiving. Thank you.
Man, there she is, Laura Hugg, ladies and gentlemen. Laura Hugg. What a great name for someone who obviously needs one. And she's a delightful human being. And I like the fact that she's so open. I don't know if you saw the thing in the chat that one of the spectators said was, it's weird that they call it Alcoholics Anonymous and the first thing you do is say your name. That is not my joke. I think it's funny, but it's not my joke. And, you know, I was in it for a while in Los Angeles, but I didn't drink, but I needed the stage time. Either, but I'm just hosting this thing. Please welcome our next performer, if you will, Josh DiDonato. Josh DiDonato.
Hey, thank you. Yeah, I don't know. It's weird. Thanks for having me, Mike.
You're welcome.
Sometimes I've been introduced in comedy shows. People like the MC will say I'm a political comedian, you know, which is I kind of struggle with whether or not I feel like that's, you know, how I want to be known. You know, I mean, part of me feels like, you know, everything is political in a certain way, but then there's also things that are considered political that I don't understand how that is. You know, I mean, this has been happening, just a growing number of things over the years. I think, like when the Affordable Care Act was first passed, it turned out that like just saying, yeah, everybody should have health care was like a political statement. Okay, all right, sure, you know. And then you read some articles, you know, by scientists, you know, and it says yeah, the Earth is getting hotter, and we need to do something about that, or it will be quite difficult to live on the Earth quite soon. And you say that, and people are like, "Whoa, why do you get all political there?" You know, science people saying science things. You know, and then you know, you say something like, "Trans people exist." Like, wow, what's this politics talk? You know, and then it just keeps going. If you say the sentence "Black Lives Matter," which is really just you know, a short way of saying Black people are also humans and maybe shouldn't be murdered quite as much. You know, and people are like, "Whoa, hot take, political hot take there." And then earlier this year, you know, we found out that wearing a mask to stop an airborne disease that was all over the globe is political. So which means there's a pro-disease faction. Yeah. And then, you know, just in the last couple of weeks, if there's a national election and it's not that close, popular vote wise or electorally, and you say the person who clearly won is the winner, you're being political. Not just, you know, hey, I'm one of those, you know, left-wing nut jobs who, when the New York Times, who I respect, and the Washington Post, Associated Press, Reuters, UPI, NBC News, ABC News, CBS News, and Fox News say that somebody won the election, I'm going to go, you called me Karl Marx, I'm going to go ahead and say maybe that person won the election. Have compassion. Have compassion for the people who didn't win, for Trump and his followers. Really hard to do that when they won't admit that they fucking lost. I think compassion, this is what compassion looks like for Donald Trump. I think if he's only sent to prison for all of the crimes he committed during his presidency, he's getting off easy. You know, if he's
Exactly.
not hung in the middle of Times Square by the neck until dead, I think he's doing okay. I don't. Have you given a thing yet? Am I just about done? I'm just about done. You're muted, Mike, and I
Thing
can't.
went just off. It just went off. I was muted because I had to blow my nose.
All right. Well, you know, I would say I'll give time back to the room, but I fucking hate when comics say that because if you go 35 seconds short, people are like, I'm gonna give time back to the room like they're fucking Gandhi. Anyway, I'm done talking. See you.
Gandhi, what's with all the politics, Josh?
Nice, Mike.
Yeah, no problem, man.
Okay.
No problem. Gandhi, Jesus Christ. Okay. Got a red shirt for everybody? Looks pink from here, but maybe it's red. Maybe it's a little red. Anyway, our next performer is also the producer of this show and a show that we do on Sunday nights called, if I may make so bold, The Apocalypse. Get it? Capital Lips. Apocalypse, because we speak with our lips.
Why you got to bring our lips into this, Mike, and be so
yeah.
political?
That's very wonderful. Hey, oh man, I want to do those jokes so badly, the light bulb jokes, so very, very badly. But I'll do this one, and it's a different punchline than the one you know, and then you're coming right up, Chuck. Okay.
All right.
How many Gen Zers does it take to change a light bulb?
How many?
Mom, the light bulb's out.
Oh.
Oh. We're gonna watch a YouTube video to learn how to change it.
Anyway, Chuck Roy produces this show and the Apocalypse show.
Wow, Mike.
Welcome, if you will. Stick to the point.
You know, Mike, your humor is so classic and then yet youthfully charming. It's like being...
It's timeless.
Yeah, it's like being Ed McMahon to your Johnny Carson Daly.
Aww.
Like turkey is on the menu today. Cold turkey is on my mind. Cold turkey, it's like a broken heart, you know, just permanent and something you're going to remember every holiday. Mike, all this cold turkey has me thinking, I gotta stop being so smoking hot. You know, I just gotta quit doing that cold turkey.
Absolutely. Well, you've made a nice start with that shirt.
Thank you, Mike. Oh. Mike, if you believe I'm smoking hot, then I got a snowplow store to sell you in Istanbul. That's crazy. A snowplow store in Istanbul. That's some Istanbul shit, my friend. Mike, if you want this next joke, you got to say, macrame I please.
Macrame I please.
Here it comes, buddy. In 8th grade, this is who you're looking at, everyone. I won the Home Ec Award for a macrame decor I made. If you're not familiar with macrame, that's where you weave together string in a pattern that reveals to everyone else that you're gay.
Yep.
My stuffing is just like my sex life. It's stovetop. Hello.
Bam.
Mike, that joke is just like my stuffing mix. You got to add hot water and then let it sit for a while. You know, my stuffing mix is a lot like my comedy career.
Is it?
Based on breadcrumbs. Mike, I picked up vegetables for my stuffing.
You did?
Yeah, I got them at a garden sale.
What happened?
That thing was a real celery.
Oh.
No. I see where it says "Be funny" behind you.
Oh.
Sign for 5 minutes, then come back and do your set again.
Mike, you know that painting comes to me from, I was on the set, and it comes from where I get my humor. I deploy my puns in a strategy based on the movie In Harm's Way. Right when Henry Fonda is promoting John Wayne right back to Admiral, and he says, first you got to give him the carrots, then you got to give him the shtick. Mike, no pie at my Thanksgiving this year, Mike. No.
Why not?
No pie at my Thanksgiving this year. So far.
I don't get it.
I'm saying, calm down, miss. You might not have even gotten to the joke there, Madame Black Patience. There are two options at the end of a joke: silence or ha ha. No pie at my Thanksgiving, Mike, is a lot like a wicker chair. It just doesn't sit well with me. Mike, I'm behind on my homework. As you know, I'm studying for my bachelor's degree. My homework is my life. It's my 30 years later. My education is like my sex life: overdue and always done at the last minute.
Oh,
Wow.
What can I do, Mike? I believe I've run out of jokes on this here paper, Mike. So thanks for allowing me some stage time to, finagle and wrangle some jokes.
The candy jam of comedy, ladies and gentlemen.
wait. Can you explain the pie joke at Thanksgiving? Because I want to understand.
Yes. What I'm going to do is host a clinic after the show. I will have a PowerPoint presentation show broken down by syllable, or we'll just let you tune in next week and maybe I'll punch it up to the point where you can fucking get it.
Oh, damn.
No pie at Thanksgiving because it isn't Thanksgiving yet. Let's leave it at that.
I'm not having a pie at Thanksgiving so far. That I have 2 days left to change that decision.
Oh, nice. Now I get it. Thank you.
See, Chuck, if you're kind to people, you should know that you've worked with me for so long, and yet you're so mean sometimes. I don't understand.
These are words that come up in the comment cards and personal notes.
Can't work ships anymore.
But I'm still lost, and we'll have to. If you could put some notes in the Trello, I will understand how to be kind in the future.
It's fine, Chuck. You have a way of working, and it works for you, and I appreciate that. And I think all of us do. Well, not all of us, all but one of us do. And our next performer is someone I met at the beginning of the show, but I haven't seen work yet. But if she's anything like any of the other comics that have been on tonight, she's going to be very funny. And if she's anything like Chuck, she'll know a lot about stuffing. So please welcome Misra. Jessica Misra, ladies and gentlemen. I hope I pronounced that correctly.
Yeah, no, you're good. Wow, this has been crazy fun. I can't believe I'm having fun at an open mic.
Okay.
Christina was talking about how anal sex doesn't count. I didn't realize all the gays were going to heaven. I've never had premarital sex after that. I'm half white, half Indian, so I take yoga very seriously. So important to my culture. It's kind of hard being mixed though, because like one time I got diarrhea after an Indian curry and I just like felt like a failure.
Oh, nice.
I was like, if my dad knew, he'd be so disappointed. I'm half white. I'm half German actually, and then half Indian. Both cultures that have used the swastika pretty effectively. For those of you that didn't know, the Indians had it first. It's a peace symbol. The Nazis just went a little crazy with the merch. You know, they were in the back of the rally with their flags and their armbands and a little box that said, "Pay what you can." It's to a good cause. You know what it is? It's the symbol version of like a girl in a meeting room saying a joke, and then the guy next to her says it louder, but he takes off his shirt, and everyone's like, "That's so good." You know what? You get the symbol now. I watch a lot of reality TV. Anyone else like kind of trashy? Woo! Yes. Okay, cool. My people. Yeah, I watched Love is Blind. It's a great show. For those of you that don't know, it's a show where they agree to marry each other before they get to see each other. The only thing I don't like about that show is they were like, "This is our idea. We're originals." It's like, I don't know, dude. Have you heard about world history? Not getting to see each other before you get married. Indians have been doing that since the dawn of time. In fact, you can't even like sell that show in India, all right? It wouldn't be called Love is Blind, it'd be called Poorly Arranged Marriage.
Oh.
Getting married before you get to see each other, European monarchs are king, all right? Yeah. The only reason as a European monarch you would know what your spouse was gonna look like is because half the time you're related.
Oh.
I look to have my eyebrows and my recessive genetic disorder. But I know he has both. Speaking of world history, I love short guys. Any short guys out there?
Woo!
Yeah, I love short guys. I respect the hell out of them. They advance society, all right? Good. Napoleon is a great military genius. He got a complex named after him. Overall, if he had been like 2 inches like taller, if he had just been like a few inches taller, I feel like he just would have been like a devoted husband and a stepdad to a dog.
That's right.
Short guys get stuff done, you know? My prom date was like on the shorter side, and he asked me to prom in a paper, and he like baked it in lemonade to make it look like a scroll, and then he wrote it in calligraphy. Tall guys don't do that. You know, like if he had been any shorter, he would have rode into prom on a horse and attacked the principal.
Nice.
If he had been any shorter, he would have tried, like when they were announcing prom king and queen, he would have initiated a coup and made me the queen.
Nice.
Boom. Okay, that was new. I'm glad it worked. I've been reading a cookbook. That kind of tells you how good I am at parties. I read cookbooks. And she was telling me to salt the pasta water like the sea. And I kind of fucked up because I salted it like the Dead Sea.
Oh.
Yeah, it was gross. I'm going to end on this. Okay, I think Static Shock is a cool superhero, you know, but his power sucks, right? It's just like static electricity. It's like, what kind of sidekick do you give that guy? Like somebody who makes it feel like you just hit your funny bone? Anyway, I'm Jessica Misra. Thank you.
Static electricity sidekick is a balloon. Right. We all know that.
Can I steal that?
I want to give a special thanks to our next and final 2 comedians because they've been so patient throughout the show, and they're. I would like to think they're personal friends of mine. You know, I'd like to think that, but of course, you know, if you're my kind of asshole, you don't really have friends. You know, people that tolerate you. I guess that counts as something. But anyway, they're lovely people in their own right, and they really deserve better than me for a friend. So please welcome our next 2 performers. They're not a team, by the way. Next 2 performers. The first one is this lady here, the gorgeous and lovely and very funny Gini Sikes. Please.
Yay! Hey, Mike, thanks so much. And I don't mind waiting because I really love hearing the laughter of people who've been locked up alone too long.
Has a special ring to it, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. I've been locked up too long. It's made me so distracted. Normally, pre-COVID, I wake up feeling moderately befuddled because I'm ADD, not 80, ADD. And now I mix up everything. Like, okay, so I put away frozen hamburger in my cupboard and I forgot about it. I got a check in the mail. I tore it up and threw the check in the garbage and tried to deposit the envelope. Last month, my cat died. I buried my dog.
Oh.
I kept wondering why my cat slept so much.
Oh.
My dog doesn't like that joke either.
Oh.
So when I was a kid, my mom told me that I spent a lot of time by myself, which explains why I feel sorry for inanimate objects. My mom stuck this old box record player we had in the closet, and I would peek in. Good night, Boxy. I named it Boxy because I was afraid it was lonely.
Oh.
Wait, that was me. Mom put me in the closet. I was lonely. Yeah, Mom never told me goodnight when she locked the door behind her.
Oh.
But as an adult, I still relate to inanimate objects. I'm basically Tom Hanks in that movie Castaway. He's all alone on an island and his only friend is a volleyball. It's so cute. He names it Wilson. When Wilson drifted off to sea, I cried like a baby. When I saw Titanic and Rose lost Jack to the sea, I cried, but only for wasting 3 hours of my life.
Oh.
So I have a pet peeve. I'm a journalist, and so I have a hobby of researching real laws that are batshit crazy. So would you like to hear one?
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
In Poland, they passed a child protection law. Nobody can go near a playground while wearing a shirt with Winnie the Pooh, the little bear. Why? Because Pooh has no pants. Okay, something else Pooh doesn't have, a penis. He can't flash you, silly old bear. He can't even moon you. No crack. Okay. I don't know what's creepier, Pooh not having a crack or the fact I checked. Okay. Here's an even dumber law. In 25 countries, it's illegal to kill yourself. You break that law, what are the cops going to do? Ticket your corpse? Big whoop would be a non-moving violation. But if you attempt suicide and the cops save you at the last minute, they take you not to the hospital, to prison, where you'll want to hang yourself. Okay,
Nice.
true confession. I broke that law. I contemplated suicide. I had pills, I had vodka, and I was truly asking myself, should I live or should I die? And then my mother called. That settled it. It turns out that suicide's just another thing I'm not very good at. But if I thought I'd go to jail for failing attempted suicide, I would have tried a fuckload harder. And if I knew somebody who took pills, woke up, realized he's still alive, he hears the sirens, the cops are coming, I'd be like, dude, what floor are you on? Jump. Yeah, add that to the list of things I'm not good at, suicide hotlines. Okay. That's dark. I'll leave you with this. It's just annoying. When somebody says to you, oh, you know me, but you don't. I was walking down the street. I saw a neighbor. I was like, how are you? He goes, oh, you know me. I live at the gym. And I was like, okay, I really don't know you. And I wouldn't assume you live at the gym. The guy was wearing a jock strap on his face. And I wish I were joking, for his mask.
Ew.
And a shirt with Winnie the Pooh. Only famous people get to use that expression. Otherwise, if you say, oh, you know me, then you better offer up something revealing. Oh, you know me, embezzling from my job at the bank. Oh, you know me, giving head for blow. Right, Ned?
Hey!
Oh, you know me, up late at night reading by the light of your bedroom window. Okay, you guys have been great. Thank you. I'm Gini Sikes. You know me.
Gini Sikes. And in the chat, I think you see her IG. Her IG handle is in there. IG at Gini Sikes. So, check out what she does on Instagram. One of the many things I know nothing about. Well, I know a lot about most things, but I don't know anything about it. Let's not get into that.
What?
Maybe I'm, being smarter than other people doesn't make you a better person. Okay, it makes you a little bit better person, but it doesn't make you that much. Okay, anyway, what I'm trying to say is I love you. And you know what? That is an 80-year-old joke from Groucho Marx in one of his movies, and I will take it every single time. I just want to give credit where credit is due. And our headliner for this evening, the lovely and talented friend of mine from Denver who now lives in Los Angeles. Please welcome, if you will, Denise Winkleman.
Everyone, it's so good to be here. It really is. And we're just going to kick it off hot. So I am a trans woman. And I feel like every show or mic I'm on, it's like a support group where I'm just like, hi, I'm Denise. I'm a trans woman. And if I were in a support group, Mike and Chuck would definitely be my therapists.
Yeah.
And I've been trying to date during quarantine, and there is definitely a stigma around dating trans people. And so I overly disclose on my profiles. Every single one of them says, post-op trans woman. And apparently nobody knows what that is, because I have never had so many people that wanted my dick until I didn't have one. If I would have known that was a thing, I might have kept it. And I recently updated my social media to reflect that I was trans. And a guy DM'd me and asked me if I knew Caitlyn Jenner. We don't all know each other, guys. It doesn't work like that. If I were tight with old Kate, I would have more than 700 followers on Twitter, and I'd have my own reality show by now.
Absolutely.
And that's like assuming all white dudes are tight with Donald Trump. And guys, if you are, could somebody please text him and just tell him he lost?
Nice. Cool.
And to be honest, before transition, I only knew Bruce Jenner as the weird Michael Jackson lookalike on Keeping Up with the Kardashians. Somebody just needs to keep him away from that kid with Home Alone. You're all looking at me like, why is the trans Jean-Claude Van Damme still talking? I was on a show recently, and I did my bit about being trans, and afterwards, a week later, a comic messaged me and said, well, you're very brave. You gave me the courage. I have decided to transition. That's awesome, but it's exactly what the conservative Christians are worried about. That we're all trying to convert them. When I came out, one of my Christian friends, I grew up conservative Christian, they told me, first off, they said they cried for me, and then they said they blocked me, but they said they're trying to convert everybody to be LGBTQ. And that's not true at all, unless you're hot.
Nice.
And it's kind of like one of those things like we're really not trying to convert you, but like if you want to switch teams, like we won't kick you out of bed. but if you're not hot, like we'll give you a good old pat on the back, and it's kind of like we'll let you go to the Pride Fest, but you can't walk in the parade. And I think everybody, no matter how straight you think you are, should have one experience. You know, like it's kind of like testing a hypothesis. Don't worry, I won't offend any Christians, because as soon as I said hypothesis, they immediately tune me out. Like that's scientific. So that's science. I mean, guys, just go back to believing the world is flat, vaccines aren't real. Don't get mad, just go home and burn your damn science books.
Yeah.
That's what I got, guys. Thank you so much. This has been so much fun.
Oh, really?
Ooh, Denise.
That flew by that time. That's unbelievable. And you know what? The last time I saw you do stand-up, you didn't do a single trans joke.
No, it's all new.
I love this stuff. As a matter of fact, I guess you could call it, you came out to me, because I never asked, and I'm not particularly curious about that sort of stuff. Although now that you've given me permission, you know, we'll find somebody and see how it goes. Because you know, got to have at least one experience, apparently.
Mike, sorry, you're not hot.
I know, but
Oh.
I can look back like the next guy. All right, is that okay with you? You know,
Mike, you can come to the
I know you feel warm in here, but
thank you. I would like to think I can come to the parade and drive one of the floats. I may not be able to be at least drive it.
Just take a assless chaps with your name on it, dude.
I think there should be all kinds of things with my name on it, you know, but it's not really for me to judge, is it? How well am I going to be remembered? That's
There's a statue that honors you.
after my state funeral.
Anyway, Mike, we have a statue that honors you on the 3rd floor in the graphics department at the Colorado Comedy Show's virtual event center. So
I really got to get down there and say hi to those guys.
Whole team of graphics has a trophy for you.
Mike, we're planning your memorial next week, if that helps at all. No rush. No rush, though.
I know. Maybe I cough a little. That doesn't mean anything, you know?
Whatever. COVID.
Doc Holliday lived with consumption for years. So
consumption.
Yeah. He actually, because he was famous and he had tuberculosis, he died of conspicuous consumption.
Bingo. Boom.
Bam.
Boom.
Yeah.
Officer
Finger
down.
pistols, moonwalks out of frame, end of show. Genius. Hey, you know what? Some of the people who were performers tonight had to leave early. Paula Mattocks, Laura Hugg, and Josh DiDonato. Josh had a rally that he needed to get to, apparently. Eskimo Lives Matter. It's I think it had something to do with ice, and maybe that's what it was. Maybe it was something. Christina Olivas, very funny, very funny, very offensive to gay men, but very funny at the same time. Well, she wasn't offensive to gay men. She was just.
Oh no.
No, God, no.
Come on.
You know, Chuck, does this thing, and he has recently come out to absolutely no one because he had aircraft with signs going over his hometown when he was 14. So there really isn't anybody who doesn't know anymore. But that's not either here nor there. We had Gini Sikes and Denise Winkleman just now. We all remember Ned Rice. Again, Ned, you're as funny as you always have.
Sorry to hear that.
No, I'm sorry. You're as funny as ever. And how sad.
Oh, thank you.
Chuck Roy, Laura Hugg, again, Laura Hugg, Jeffrey Burden II, and C. Glenn Williams. You can see Glenn Williams wherever you go.
Wow.
Why did I
Getting there.
Why? Why?
Wow.
Why would a guy even do that? Huh?
Wow.
What kind of self-esteem issues does a guy have where he stoops that low for a laugh? My level of self-esteem issues. And Jessica Misra, who is in Philadelphia, where they don't know how to pronounce her name. And we also had a comedian or two who came in just to watch the show. Several, actually, not just two, but several came in just to watch the show tonight. And they're very grateful for all of them coming in. And when they want to perform, they need to let me know so that we can get them on the list. And one of them is our dear friend Christina Kleeman, who is funny every time she's on, but feeling a little tired tonight, so she decided to be a supporter and a spectator. And that's the kind of mensch we need. You know, when you have a heart the size of a mustard seed, I'm bringing religion into it now. You need people to be mentee for your show. And if you were here tonight and you enjoyed what you were doing, tell your friends about it. Have them come, and then you can come yourselves back again and perform again. All but one of you was hilarious tonight.
What?
Sukumar Ragavan, by the way, was hilarious. He's not the one that I left. I didn't leave his name off on purpose. It was because I'm so proud of being able to say Vijay Ragavan that I try to stop myself from saying it too often because then it just looks show off. Since he decided to live in the United States, he's changing his name to Sukumar Standing Bear. Anyway, we're here every Tuesday, and there's no show. So
we should also make sure we thank our host, who in his amateur days was known for putting the boob in the bubonic plague. Ladies and gentlemen, Mike Langworthy. Give him a nice round of applause. What a fine show.
Turns out rat juggling in Europe was a bad choice of profession in the 20s.
Rat juggling.
Well, you know what?
Rat juggling, wasn't that the name of your punk band?
That's great.
And I want to say two things, by the way.
Hot nights at the Go-Go.
We're here every Monday at 8 o'clock Mountain Time. Every Sunday at 7 o'clock Mountain Time is the Apocalypse Show that I mentioned earlier. It's a showcase show. People who come here on the open mic frequently graduate to the showcase show and get a chance to work there. And we also support a wonderful charity called Elevating Connections, which does many things to help siblings who've been separated by the foster care system to reconnect with each other and spend time with their families that they are not able to do because they've been separated by the foster care system. So I hope that makes sense. And we'll see you next Monday. And thanks so much for coming. Chuck?
Thanks, Mike.
Thanks, Mike.